Hello and welcome everybody to Free Wheel Station. All right, so we come in and we get like the shot of like the three planets as the camera passes over the system, the Drage system with their multiple moons, and you get the and we get like the Free Wheel Station itself sitting there just. It's like a big wheel in space with broken spokes and what have you. But there's traffic going in and out, a little bit of traffic. There's a couple of ships docking or what have you. And as the camera pans underneath, we see the wrench that's welded to the bottom of the frame in a corner where it was used to hold something together, and come out on the other side with the big title card. Um, First things first, I want to start really, really straight up in the moment because we left you guys on a hell of a cliffhanger. But I want to focus something here real quick. Pyre, you in particular, you're a gambler and you're used to these kinds of situations, and you've been on the wrong side of something like this before. You lost a game to you, whether you cheated or didn't cheat, not the point. There sometimes people react badly, and you've had to talk your way out of a situation before. So I'm going to give you a moment to try to make a sense motive or a sense motive check or a perception check or a culture check, whatever you feel like you're most comfortable doing. And I want you guys to go ahead and place your tokens in the little blue square there in the middle of the room that you can see.
He said culture.
All I see is Free Will Station. Let me reload.
Yeah, mine updated. I see it. We'll do culture.
All
I
right.
have an idea.
Nice.
I'm glad it's nice.
Wait until we get everybody's tokens on there.
They move
Because the
things
blue,
I'm
around.
trying so hard.
yeah, the blue square is effectively the lift. And that you guys came down on. All right.
I don't like being the only one down here, but all right.
Well, it's about to get a little bit nicer. So you come down, the lift comes down to a stop, and you're looking out, and on both sides you see, a couple of, what ostensibly have to be red booters, or at least whoever's occupied this base, standing there with their guns drawn, with their pistols drawn, pointed directly at you. And in this moment, maybe we go directly into Pyre's sort of like point of view. And Pyre, you're looking around, and there's this moment where you're like, shit. Where you're like, shit. And you think back to a similar situation where you were surrounded by armed men who were angry and wanted to shoot you, over a simple misunderstanding about, was it a game of cards or dice or,
Probably.
So,
Dice.
and you're looking around and you're thinking about it, and you notice, you also see the isekai over here, which, those of you who are there for it, namely Kib and Philip, you recognize the isekai that you guys saw that was at the Red Booter base out, the one that ran from the deal in Himwell, the one that shot that guy in Himwell and ran off.
Yep.
So, and he seems to be in charge of these others. But you, Pyre, looking around, you're like, man. and you happen to see pinned on one of the guy's jackets a like a button, like he's got a few buttons on there, like that he's gotten from various places, just sort of tagged onto his freebooters, armored jacket, and one of them the first one you like your attention is drawn right straight to Detello's Rolling Joint, which is a place because it is a gambling establishment you have been to. It is, and it's a place that like not a lot of people would know. Like there's either serious hobbyists or professional gamblers would know about it, and usually it's kind of like the uh, black end sort of like market for it. It's like one of the places that doesn't answer to any sort of gaming commissions or anything. So it's kind of got a reputation for, if you get yourself into trouble, that's on you, kind of situation. So this guy's obviously been to Detello's Rolling Joint, um, and it reminds you, of a time where you have utilized a similar tactic where you were able to parlay something out of nothing. Like you don't know this guy, but he's been somewhere you've been, and maybe that's something you can latch onto. Like maybe pretend like, hey, I met you there one time, or we played a game together. You've run a con like that before. You're not sure how far it'll get you. He doesn't seem to be the guy in charge here, but it's certainly it's certainly an option, because with the scanner showing that there was at least a couple of dozen people down here, shooting your way through here when you're starting off here on the back foot, it doesn't seem the most ideal strategy at the moment.
So I have a worse idea, and I'm gonna bluff my way through it.
Do
So
it.
for all, is this in the same universe as Fire Strike?
Actually, not necessarily. In this universe,
Okay.
the events of Fire Strike didn't actually happen, because
That's fine.
this is the universe where Zai was lazy and never got a crew together, and so that never happened here.
This is a shard verse.
That's fine. No, this will be then it was either going to be a reference or an actual like bluff of something, but he's just going to be like, ruffians and scoundrels, welcome, or not welcome, ruffians and scoundrels, we are the vanguard of the pirate captain side. Whatever your last name.
Fulvetto.
Fulvetto. You have two choices. You can take your ships and leave, and we take everything here, or you die, and we take everything here, because he is on his way, and this has been prime real estate out here on the frontier.
Kib, can you use your spell to make stuff appear on the computer instead?
First of all, I want to know, like, if you're going to really try to run this name as an unknown by these people, or do you have the names of the other pirates in the sector?
Maybe he would use that. I just I wanted to do a throwback.
I mean that's perfectly fine if you want to be like, haha, and just like, as far as anybody knows, made this name up, but as far as they know will depend on your role.
Yeah, I have faith in your bluff roll.
I don't. Let me make sure I don't have any special abilities for this.
Yeah.
Skill focus is already applied. That doesn't matter. Covert expert. Once per day, when you attempt a bluff check, disguise, or stealth, you can roll twice. You can use this. Okay.
Yes.
I will do that.
Yes.
I've
seen him. There's my help check.
Twice. Oh, I'm so glad I used that.
38, yay! I seen him. He's crazy. He's the craziest pirate ever.
And like they all look confused for a minute, and like like they're and the isekai is like he looks at you, he's like hold on a second here. He's like keep your guns on him just in case. I want to call. I want. He's like give me a minute here, and he goes over like he like walks off. He goes through the door here, and to and pulls his comms out as he's going. And the others kind of are looking, kind of looking at you and kind of looking at each other like, okay, what are
Well,
we? They're like, and eventually he comes
when
back.
I was gonna say when he
Huh?
probably like as he's coming back is when I just back. And you should know we've already made a pact with the time dragon on the other side of this moon on behalf of our captain.
Yeah.
So I would recommend a little
He's like,
foresight here.
the isekai comes back in and he's all right. He goes, so if you're really that important, then it then the boss is gonna want to see you. Boss, he's like, I think this is a conversation that seems like it might be a little above my pay grade at the moment. And he's like, if you'll do us the courtesy of divesting yourselves of weapons, I mean security and all of that, we won't be. He says, he, he's, he says, he's like, he says, and we'll take you to Boss Jor, and you can talk to Boss Jor.
From one pirate to another, you should know a pirate never hands over his weapon so willingly. I mean, look at this man here, pointing to
Damn.
death arms.
Does he seem on the up and up?
The isekai, yeah, he
Yeah.
seems like he's on the up and up.
I whisper into your ear. For some reason, he's not lying at the moment.
I'll
But
just shrug my arms. A pirate is free after all if they wish to give up their weapons, as you can see. And I like just spread my arms. I've got nothing very visible on me. I've got
Right.
hidden pockets.
Good for you. I give them my pistol.
Yeah, it's like so. I think we'll cut away here.
Nice.
And I'm going to take you to, and we're gonna go back to the station. We're gonna catch up with Kurad, and Kurad, you have been knee deep. You have been knee deep in, sort of the necrograft, upgrades that you guys were doing for the Order of Kavoy. So they were they a couple of their higher level like command staff, got a few interesting upgrades, but most of it was lower level stuff, just basic. None of it was obviously anything above your level because you wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise. But like there were a couple of like the command staff that got some level 3, level 4, but most of them were like the occasional level 1. There were a few people who got like basic bone blades and stuff like that. But you've managed to get yourself out of having finished all of that up. And I think did you have Dr. Oglehop help you with any of it?
Yes, I'll have him help with some of it.
Yeah.
I want to see how squeamish he is.
Turns out not very.
Oh, that's a good thing.
He sees it like you're getting the impression from him. I mean, give me a basic sense motive roll, I guess. I want to kind of see how much you've kind of picked up from him. Yeah, you're getting the sense that like he's, as far as like undead is concerned and necrographs and things like that, he seems to find it mildly interesting, but you're getting the impression that he sees even undeath as part of the cycle of life because, after all, undead may last for thousands of years, but eventually even they get destroyed or killed at some point. You know, so I think he sees a
Sorry.
lot. Like he seems to have a longer view of these sort of things than some other people. Because as far as he's concerned, this is people who are willing to get these necrografts, and they're bringing. He's not asking a lot of questions about where they got the bodies to grind up into necrograph pieces. Because again, not really big on war, but he knows it exists. And it's part of the spectrum. He doesn't seem to have a lot of moral judgment on that, other than the fact that the the things that seem to bother him the most are the things that are completely unnatural. But other than that, you've picked up on he's of the Star Shaman connection. So as well as a biohacker. So he's multi-classed. But yeah, I think maybe you guys are like you're getting ready to turn the lights off and go, and Dr. Oglehop is kind of like throws the the scrubs in the disposal or whatever, the gloves and the whatever, and he's like, all right, like, so that was the last of them. So I'm gonna take the day off tomorrow. I got some communing with the cosmos I need to do. um, but yeah, what does this look like as you're getting ready to leave the office for the day? Are you um, turning it back over to somebody on staff, or are you just shutting the lights off and setting, for page or whatever?
Yeah, I'm just shutting the lights off, set it to page for emergencies only.
All
I
right,
need a break.
all right, yeah.
And then, is the casino built yet, or is it still under construction?
The casino is built. The management staff has not arrived yet.
Okay, so it's not manned yet.
Yeah, it's not manned yet. Your understanding is it soon will be, but it is not yet manned.
Well, I'm
Um,
gonna hit the boards.
all right, yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if there's a couple dead bodies I can use.
So um, you do like you are aware that like Philip and Kib and Death Arms took off with some gambler that recently showed up on the station. Uh, they were going to go talk to the Time Dragon. Was sort of the message that they had left behind. Um, that they were going to go meet with the Time Dragon and see if they could figure out where the Red Booters' main base was. Um, Going down to Bort's, there's a certain amount of regular crowd here because there are people who live here, and this is, until the casino opens, really the only form of entertainment for most of them to get out of their quarters. Um, I don't know. I guess some of them probably watch ships come in or what have you. Um, but this is really the big. But there's also, of course, the crowd of folks that are sort of like passing through. You see a table full of androids that you can only guess might be heading for the Point 1 colony. You see, a group of folks that several people who look like they're pirates or criminals in their own right. But you do see like um, trying to think who is on station right now. The followers of Kavoy are getting ready to leave, so most of them aren't around right now. There is Captain Tawi of the Plasma Scar is in port. She and her crew are having a few drinks. That knoll that caused a lot of trouble last time is with her, but and he keeps giving her mean looks, but she seems to pay him very little mind. Um, the and she's just sort of drinking at the bar, telling a story about like some run-in with a ship from the Girin Empire. Did we lose you?
Sorry, I had someone yakking my ear for a second. What was that?
Oh, I said the Captain Tawi of the Plasma Scar is the most notable person in here, and she's at the bar with her Knoll that caused all the trouble last time, who seems to be
Right.
he seems to be giving her mean looks, but she seems to pay him no mind. She's telling a story at the bar about some run-in with a ship from the Girin Empire, and telling it very loudly and boisterously. Um, the she is in full Patra form, telling a story that just is just it seems a bit loud and outlandish, but she's got several people entertained for the moment.
Yeah, like a good Patra should. Yeah, I go up to the seat that's opposite of the knoll,
All right, yeah,
on
Oh,
her other side, and sit down.
yeah, and I think as you walk up, she's sort of finishing a sentence, and she's like, and so then I told him, I said, we don't really want any of your special wares that you've got on board. All we want are your hats. We lost them in a storm. We were drunk on the on a planet the other day. And she said, and you know what the captain said? He looked at me and he said, well, I don't know. I've never been robbed for our hats before. And everybody starts laughing. Um, and everybody starts laughing at that. And she's like, well, we made sure to take all of their booze too. I mean, we didn't want any of the textiles or, other goods they had. It was more about the hats and the booze. like, but the Knoll doesn't seem to pay you much mind. He's just like, and there's like a moment where like they're like you hear the crowd kind of like asking her some questions. She's like, oh no, she's like, no, he led the Vanguard party on that one, and points at the Knoll, who just sort of like growls a little bit and is like, they're like, got stuck for a bit, but then he decided to bite one of their heads off. The rest of them ran off. There's a bit of laughter, which the Knoll seems to take some offense to, or at least he just sort of growl, like looks at her with anger and hate in his eyes. Like from what you know about Knolls, they don't take anyone at their word. Like if you want to lead a Knoll, you have to kick its ass first. like,
Yeah.
and you've seen the video of her doing just that. Doesn't mean he's happy about it though.
well, no. We'll still have that alpha dog thing going on. They can't help it.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Captain Tawi notices you, and she's like, "Oh," she's like, "A doctor, what are you doing here? I'd heard you'd all gone off on some crazy wild adventure to try to talk to some time dragon or something."
Oh, I was busy with, well, work. I don't always go on these adventures with the others.
And she's kind of like, "Oh, fair enough, fair enough. Somebody's got to keep the lights on, right?"
Essentially, yes.
And she's like, "Soji, here." She says, and she kind of like, she goes, she looks for a minute and she stops herself and she's like, kind of looks at some of the hangers on it that are like hanging her, and she goes, if you'll give me a moment, I've got a bit of business to talk about. And she's like, if you want to, she says, if you want to hear the rest of the story, she's like points at one of her other crewmates. He's one of her other crewmates is like, he'll tell it just as well as I can. Well, almost. And they kind of like look a little disappointed and peel off. The knoll kind of continues to sit there and stare at her, and she just continues to look. She kind of looks over in his direction, and kind of gives a half scowl and then a smile, and she's like, she goes, "You know what happened last time?" And she's like, and he continues to sit there. She, fine, suit yourself. Sit there then and be angry. And she's like, so, you heard? The Garen Empire has been a bit more active of late. They've been sending more ships out a little farther from their borders. In fact, there's been some skirmishes with the Velquin Empire.
Almost sounds like the making of a war.
Well, it sounds like they're out for something. Nobody knows why they're extending out at this point. They've been content to stay within their borders for a while. I mean, they control enough systems as it is. Says, but there's also whispers. She goes, I heard it took a bit of persuading. And she kind of looks over at the knoll and she goes, but one of those Garen captains that I ran into told me a little something that's interesting. They've become a lot more interested lately in their runaway citizens, as it were. This rumor said they've heard of a station out here somewhere in one of these lesser populated systems that's telling androids that they're free as soon as they walk on the decks. They're not too happy about it.
I see.
They don't know where you're at yet, but you're starting to gain notoriety. And says, you might want to be very careful about how you handle your next few steps as you go forward. I
That is good advice.
figure professional courtesy and we rather like coming here to drink and, you know, stop off, have a bit of a laugh with the other crews out there, size up with the competition, size up the possible targets. This place is a potential gold mine if it stays the way it is. There's a bit of self-interest involved here. This is, but I'd keep that warning. I'd keep the warning on handy, and with your association with the your current association with the Accord, well, they're mercenaries. They might just get involved with this little war and complicate matters a bit more. I heard about the deal you cut with them. Says,
Yes, that's something definitely I'll have to let the others know when they get back.
he's like,
Hmm.
by the way, smart move earning out the concession, whittling away a few points of percentage to keep fiends off the deck, at least full-blooded ones. I'd rather not have to deal with some of those. And she's like,
And they can get out of hand. That's for sure.
she's like, and she's like, in the meantime, she goes, she goes, in the meantime, have a drink with me. And she's like, perhaps you've got a few stories that might be of interest to me.
Um, not many. Life back home was, to say, quite boring. The entertainment came when I met my current partner.
She's like, no, 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 not that kind of stories. I meant relevant to this. relevant to business in the sector. And she kind of gives you a bit of
Oh,
a wink, and she's like, and you know, like, give me a sense motive here. I mean, it's not, it's fairly obvious, but I want to see.
she's fishing.
Very nice.
Yeah, she's fishing information. Like she's hoping that she's trying to get a bit of a rapport, enough of a rapport to get some information that might be helpful to her. Um, like she's hoping if you've heard of any fat merchant ships with minimal defenses or anything like that. She's not going to say it out loud, but you know, you get the impression that's what she's looking for. Is if you got any leads.
Would I have any leads currently?
Um,
Culture?
yeah, give me a culture check if you have ranks, and you do have ranks in culture, don't you? I'm pretty
Yes.
sure. Yeah. So give me a culture check here. Uh, most of the leads you could give her would be conflicting with the station's business interests, in terms of like, because you have a general idea of like some of the schedules for the Valquin Empire ships coming to your station, and some of the ships from the Paperleaf Tea Trading Company and the Gemfish Trading Company. Um, that are sort of like trying to set up shop here as well. But
Uh,
they're not. But both of those will be pretty heavily armed and armored, and those are the people you're trying to do business with too. But uh,
yeah.
like
She is technically our friend.
you might,
We've always rolled well with her.
yeah, like you might like. It's the kind of thing where you don't know anything now, but that doesn't mean you might not hear something in the future.
The Valquin Empire, were those the real snotty ones?
Yeah, they're the ones that like they're a complicated mess. Like the Count and the Countess were really snotty. Hesha, their agent, their direct agent, seemed to be mostly very professional. And Quindon Maloon, their agent on the ship that's directing trade with you, like their on-hand agent, he seems to be all right.
Yeah, he's pretty and he has a level head and a sense of humor, unlike
Yeah,
anyone else we've met from them.
yeah. Like he like so they're like it's kind of hard to gauge what the empire itself is like direct based on the people personalities you've met necessarily. I mean, because the Count and Countess could just be a shitty example of their nobility. The rest of their nobility may not be that bad. After all, Hesha seems completely, professional. A little humorless at perhaps, but more or less professional. And Quindon Maloon seems to be a relatively affable enough fellow for the most part. So it might also have to do with their relative position. It might be all the nobles are shitty, but the rest of the Valquin Empire's, people are halfway decent. You never know.
Yeah.
You haven't taken a lot of time to get to know any of them necessarily.
So I'll just look at her, you know, letting the shielding down a little bit in the visor so she see the eye stalk staring at her.
Yeah.
I don't know any good stories at the moment, but when I come across them,
She goes, all right, fair enough.
we'll share some drinks.
So fair enough, fair enough. She goes, just hear anything juicy, let me know. I love a good story, especially one that involves a great good opportunities. And she's like, and yeah, she's kind of like, and she kind of like dismisses business at that point.
Mhm.
And um, like you can kind of get a few patchwork stories out of her from her career as a pirate. Um, you know, uh, she doesn't seem to. She references having come from the Veskarium and her home planet, but she doesn't really talk a great deal about it. Like, it's hard to get a read on her feelings about the Veskarium. She obviously left for some reason, whether it was greed, looking for riches someplace where it was easy to come by, or whether it was running from something. Kind of hard to tell, because it seems like she gets herself into an odd enough trouble as a pirate alone. You can only imagine before that. um, but I think, but you do get at some point along the drinking, and by the way, sort of the band of the night is is sort of they're like a sort of a blues type music, but they're sort of like I don't know, it's a jazz infused blues sort of like band that's up there, mixed species up there, and they're but it goes kind of hard for being what it is. But it is kind of like one of those nights where people are into the entertainment. So there's a fewer people gambling tonight, more people either drinking at the bar or watching the show. Um, and I think while you're kind of like, um, in fact, they're playing a song called they're playing a song called the Lab Creation Blues, which they say is a cover from a band that they're really fans of. Um, that they that and but right about the time you're kind of like they're kind of talking this up, you get a notification from ops on your comms.
What is it now?
I think Colovian's like, well, it's I don't know. I'd like to say it's not important, but I think you should at least be aware of it. And since you're the only one
Council
of the
person.
council member on board at the moment, I figured you'd probably want to see the message that just came in.
Fetch it through.
All right, a second. It starts off as like you get a logo on the front for the Versped Research Collective, and Dr. Sigvit, and there's a small like little music, and then the camera, it cuts to a camera of Dr. Sigvit, who you met your party that they started off being relatively unfriendly, but you convinced them that you're not really in the same line of work, so they don't have to worry about you. But there's he's got there it's like he's like, this is my name is Dr. Sigvit of the Versped Research Collective. This is a message to all vessels and all travelers. Let's see what. Hold on a second. They are in the. God damn it. Oh, in the. This is for all travelers. From this message comes to you from the Protomol station. This is a message from the Resim system to all travelers. Be advised that there is a cosmic anomaly in the system, and your ships could be in potential danger. This is a safety warning being brought to you by the Versped Research Collective. Again, travelers, please avoid the Resim system until the anomaly has been resolved. And Colovian kind of like she's like, it's apparently being it like comes back on. It's apparently being sent out to whoever and everyone. But she's like and she's like, but I just thought it was worth mentioning since they are a research collective and we're not entirely certain who they work for at this point. If there might be a reason that you might feel concerned or not. I, we all know that there's some dark deals that go down uh, behind in places where there aren't many laws.
Hmm.
And Kurad, you remember when you met Dr. Sigvit, he had a couple of androids with him. And both of them looked like they were very focused on what they were doing, and they both looked very dangerous. But he never introduced either of them, and he never one of them you could have mistaken for potentially security, but the other one you're not entirely certain. He seemed a little odd and out of place.
Hmm.
Give me Are there any kind of checks you think you would like to make to see if you can decipher more from your memories about your encounter with the Versped Research Collective when they came to your station?
Hmm.
That's a good one. What got me
And if
thinking?
you needed to, you could even consult with Dr. Oglehop and see if he can help you. And he can just give you a flat +2 bonus.
Yeah, I'll consult with him.
Yeah.
Um, life science?
Uh, Whatever you'd like to use.
Yeah, let's try. Hmm. Now you got me thinking. Uh, maybe a culture might suit it better. Yeah, we'll do culture.
All right.
So it's +2 makes it 20.
Okay. So the thing that stands out about from a cultural perspective, the thing that stands out about those two androids and Dr. Sigvit is Dr. Sigvit never once mentioned what exactly they were working on, um, for one thing, but the androids that were with him, they didn't act like androids from the Pact Worlds or the Marixa Republic, where such beings are considered free people, nor did they act like traditional slaves like you might expect from the Gurian Empire, which you still have had no contact with. They acted somewhat. One of them acted, more natural than an android typically does, and the other one acted more unnatural than a typical android does. But both of them seemed to be their focus was that of somebody of you could almost swear that there's something else going on there, like that their focus was too intent. They weren't they weren't slaves, and they weren't freed people that were under the employ of somebody. There was something else going on. And the one of them, the one that you could have mistaken for security, it was the one that acted a bit more, um, acted a bit less naturalistic, acted more unnatural, like almost like he'd been almost like he didn't have a whole lot of experience in with traditional organic beings. And the other one just seemed to be looking far away all the time.
Okay.
And I think Dr. Oglehop is probably like, man, that guy's movements are really stilted and rigid, man. I mean, there's a, he goes, and look at that. There's just nothing good that look in his eyes, just hungry, but he doesn't, the rest of his face doesn't express it so much, man. It's like he's trying to hide some kind of hunger, you know?
Vampire.
Vampire. Vampiric werewolf.
It's like, he goes, and that guy, who, that guy, he almost reminds me a little bit of the guy who helped teach me some lessons in the spiritual. Like that guy, he's like, see, he would sit there and he'd just stare into space for hours. And then he'd turn around and he'd look at you and he'd say something so incredibly profound. And then he'd stare off into space again. It was almost like he was digging through. He goes, he goes, it was almost like he was digging through a pile of enlightened thoughts to come to the right one to say at the right moment.
Yeah.
He also made a mean plot. He also made a mean Joe Kant stew. It was really good.
Okay, I'll take note of that. If I'm ever in the mood for stew. But I definitely thank the kind doctor for his help, and I'll make note of everything.
All right, cool. Yeah, he's um yeah, and you would have had to have shown, at some point Dr. Oglehop the security tapes for him to, consult. But yeah, he, but yeah, okay. Um, is there anyone else you would like to visit with? There's like Sestra, who is the representative for the Accord, is on station. Kind of right now is still on station at the moment. Uh, see who else is. Crenville is on station as usual. Of course, Dr. Oglehop. The representatives for both of Gemfish Trade Consortium and Paperleaf Tea Trading Company are on board, and of course, Quindon Maloon, your representative for the Valquin Empire.
No, I don't think there's going to be anybody that he'd be looking to see.
Okay, all right.
He'll probably make his way up to like the bridge or whatever we're calling it.
Up to ops.
Yeah, up the ops and into the office to see what's going on.
Yeah, okay. Everything seems to be running along for the most part. There's influx of people. There's still no record of there. There's a there's a notation. There's a notation that's like that is earmarked about somebody named Cobb McCobb that doesn't appear to have a room anywhere on the station, and they're trying to charge rent for it or something. But there's no sign of this guy anywhere in the system, other than this earmark to charge him a whole bunch of extra rent. But otherwise, most of what's going on is kind of you've got like I think there's a shipment that's just come up from Captain Worthy's just brought up from Himwell that's been unloaded, and he's taking off. His ship is leaving. Think
Chester,
they're yeah.
you remember we only have Daniel for one more week after this, right?
I got you. I was just trying to think if there was any other business, but yeah, there's really not a whole lot going on in ops at the moment, and so all right. But I guess this is probably a good time to cut back, and let's take you guys to
The chocolate factory. Yeah. I don't know.
so they walk you through like their underground, their complex, and you have to go down another set of lift. Go ahead and place yourselves on the board in the blue square, or
We don't got no space.
by the blue square, as close to the blue square as possible. And like the Isekai and the other four pirates, like as soon as you guys get down there, not like they look over, like the Isekai looks over at, and you see four more pirates standing there, and like four more what look like regular grunts of this operation, and you see a Kasathan standing there among them. And Isekai looks at him and goes, "Boss, we brought the big shots down for you." You see, so he goes, "Well, yeah." He goes, "You need anything more from us?" And he goes, and he's like, "No." And it was like, he goes, he go, and he just the two of them nod at each other. And let's see. Yeah, you guys, and the Kasathan looks across at you, and there's a shuttle sitting there. And he's like, he goes, he goes, he goes. So you're the big shots, huh? Yeah, so you're the big shots.
Oh, we are just the vanguard. I wouldn't call us big shots at all. We just bring warnings.
And and he's like, I see. And he goes, and he looks at, and he goes, and who'd you say you work for again?
What did I say? Captain or King? I can't remember. Pirate King. I think it was like
Well,
the
there's
pirate.
well,
What?
there's a pirate king. There are a couple of, you've heard of the Savage Circle, um, which is a collection of some of the most pirates, and you've heard the name Captain Dravovac, a Veska pirate captain of some influence. He's one of the few names that you've
Oh no,
heard.
I'll probably stick with the Zai, but I'll just be like,
Oh, okay.
oh, the great Captain Zai Volvetto, the newest member of the Savage Circle. Kind of
He's
a
like,
violent takeover, one might
he,
say.
he's like, and he goes, he looks at his people and he goes, right. Um, first of all, give me a bluff check.
Yeah, we'll resolve that and do it again 2 times.
All right. He looks at it, he looks at his people and he goes, he's like, if the Savage Circle has fallen, and he goes, kill them. I have to go check this out for myself.
I
And
didn't say the Savage Circle. He said newest member of the Savage Circle.
Oh no! Well, you said
a
violent.
violent takeover.
Well,
Yeah,
you said
like
it was a violent
essentially, captain
takeover.
kills captain becomes newest.
Right. Oh, he'd be like, he's like, he's. I think he'd be like, he's like, that's not good. He goes, if somebody's taken one of them out, that leaves a vacuum. And he, like, either way, he seems a bit spooked at the idea that anybody took out anyone in the savage circle. And he's like, he's like, kill them. And he grabs, as he's running for his the shuttle, he grabs his comms out. He goes, "You know what to do," and jumps into the shuttle. And I need initiatives.
He thinks there's
So,
a vacuum. I said there's been a takeover. All right,
well,
I'm gonna murder these dudes.
let me see. Where is my shit here? Why is it?
Apparently, I'm not gonna murder these dudes. Where is everyone? Because it can't just be us.
Well, there's a turn order. Okay.
Are we missing some people on here? Because Death Arms is way back there. Who's missing
You
from
said
this?
around the platform, so he's around the platform.
Should have been more closer to the front. Who else? Are we missing
He's
someone?
the bodyguard of Kib. He's doing his job.
Okay, but are we missing someone? Because I thought we had another person.
No, Brian
No, I
is
mean,
the other person that you're thinking of.
I thought we had 5 people here, not 4.
Okay, so
Well, it's because Soul Demon's not here today, so
but his character is.
yeah. I need to. Uh, I'll go to here. I need to. And I have. Okay. I'm missing something here. Oh, okay. I know what it is. Because we'll get him out of there. And then I need to find his. Sorry, I do a little scrolling here because I gotta fix
My
something.
question is, did we actually relinquish the weapons?
I mean, only one person gave up his pistol. That was gonna be something I was gonna point out. I was like, "Yo, man is incompetent. He only took one weapon."
Let's see. Wait a minute, where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. There we go. Sending. So, fire. Philip. We need Philip on the initiative order.
He didn't have the token selected.
Did you not
I did. I
select the
clicked on the token before I did it. I mean, if you want me to try again, but I've literally just clicked on it and then rolled it and nothing happened.
Try again.
All right.
If it doesn't do it, add it this time, then we'll add it by hand manually.
I'm there. See, I'm there twice now. Or no. 7.03. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So let's. Something. Okay. All right. All right. So over here for now. Fine. Where's that's him. It's him. Okay. So this is where the shooting starts. Oh shit! Get out of the way! Stop! Things falling all over the place here. He's got his.
Pardon.
He's gonna use his pistol. And he's shooting at
No one.
no one. Well, I probably should have specified before I rolled, but all right. And that's 2. So this one is this guy. Yep, that guy. Okay.
Not have money for armor.
He is going to shoot at. So hard to work with the small screen. He's going to shoot at Death Arms.
Shoot the guy with 4 arms can hold 4 guns.
18.
He
Does that
doesn't.
hit? Does
Or
that
not.
hit Death Arms? Does that hit Death Arms KAC?
No, it does not.
Oh wow.
So he fires wild. All right.
Which one was that one?
It was this one right here. And
Okay,
then
so that's his target. Got it.
that's, yeah. So this one right here is going to start shooting too. He is going to shoot at. I actually kind of need to check something here. Now that I think about it. I'm thinking about range. Yeah, so that's. Okay, so okay. Yeah, so he should be taking a penalty. This guy should take a penalty here. He's going to fire at Kib. And instead of that, he gets this. I'm sure that misses. And then it's Kib's turn. So 3 of them start shooting as the bay doors open and the shuttle starts to the shuttle lifts off and starts flying out of the hangar.
All in one round, even though it was already off.
No, it's starting
It's
to
gonna take a little while.
yeah,
Okay, I was just making sure because if you got there and the doors opened, I should at least have one round to try to catch him.
Let's see. So, Kib, what are you up to?
What should I do? Do I worry about the ship? Do I take the people out?
Don't worry about the ship. Take the people out
Okay.
and stand behind the meat shield. He should do what you want right now.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna shoot that bottom dude with energy ray.
Which one? The one all the way, the one that shot at you? Okay.
Yes.
So
Nice. 23.
nice. That's 3. Okay. Oh, I need to.
Oh, I gotta choose the element. My bad. Acid, cold, electro, or fire. I don't know. I feel like acid. That'd be fun.
1d3 damage?
Yeah, it's a level 0 spell.
Does it not increase with level? The range increases with level. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, I know why.
It's for when you're a higher level character and you just want to piss someone off. Like, did you just shoot me with an energy ray?
So it's
You're
like
next.
the friend spell in D&D.
All right.
Or cantrip.
All right. Yeah. So
Well, cantrip's
yeah,
cool.
you hit and it, you hit him. It sizzle a little bit, and it's Death Arm's turn.
Okay. I'm gonna have Death Arms pull out that sniper rifle and shoot the dude that attempted to shoot him.
Okay.
That's a good idea. Well, shoot it.
That
Aw.
is not enough. He misses. Pyre, what's your move here?
So trick attack is I make a bluff against them, right?
Okay,
It does
yeah.
extra damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have instant doves and you haven't told us yet?
Do I have
Look, a
what?
dove. Bang.
Well, kind of. I think the first thing I'll do is I don't want to get shot. So like he's gonna pull his gun out of his concealed pocket, mess with the dial, and this is just part of the spell effect or the effect. It's not really a spell. And it's gonna create a scattering image of himself as I use a holographic clone exploit.
Oh, nice. So now you,
Nice.
nice.
Ooh, one d
So now,
four.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
essentially mirror image.
yeah. So go ahead and roll your 1d4. How many? So now so now there's 3 of you standing there. Yeah.
I think that is an action, doesn't it? Once per standard action, yeah. And I don't
Alright.
understand actions on Starfinder, but I'm assuming it's
Well,
movement
it's
and standard.
You get a move action.
yes, standard and move. Yes.
Do I have? I mean, technically, I can feint as a move action. What does fainting do?
Oh, and
I did
Faint.
not ask.
Oh my
I'm
god.
pulling it up right now as well.
me too.
I just know it triggers my trick attack. Treat your opponent as flat-footed for your next attack against it before the end of your next turn. Oh, okay. Yeah. Fuck it. See, this check is 10 plus your opponent's total sense motive skill, or 15 plus 1.5 times. Wait, what? 1 through 1/2? Or 15
One and
plus
a
1 minus 1/2 times the CR, whichever is greater.
should be 1.5 CR.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be 1.5, and they just really spelled it tight. They put a dash like it's a minus sign. I'm like, hold on.
yeah, Starfinder is confusing with their stuff sometimes.
And then it's just a bluff to feint. So, like, as part of all of that, we're also gonna use bluff on this dude. Since
Well, here's the thing. The trick attack is essentially a full round action, but it can be done as part of a move. But you can move as part of your action. So I don't think you can't use feint with trick attack.
no, that's my special thing. But I'm not using it with trick attack because I already used a standard action. I'm just bluffing to make him
Oh,
flat-footed till the end of my next turn.
oh, that's right. Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's
So
my
it's
debilitating
15.
trick as I do like a or there is trick attack.
Okay.
As a full action, I can
So
move up to my speed and then make him attack with a melee weapon or any small arm, which I do have, and then make it a bluff or intimidate or stealth check. Mine would be bluff. If you succeed, you deal 1d4 additional damage. Yeah, that's the trick attack. But no, right now I'm just feinting to make him flat-footed from until the end of my next turn. So then, if he's still
okay.
alive, I'll get that bonus on him.
And which one are you doing this on?
Just do it on the closest dude.
All right. So give me your bluff check.
No.
All right.
I would assume that's gonna hit.
Yeah. I mean, he's effectively flat-footed until the beginning of your next turn. So if there's anybody left to take takes a shot at him, then
One of my clones shoots a holographic ray at him.
let's see. Then it makes it this guy's turn.
Well, he's not actually flat-footed. I treat him as flat-footed.
Oh,
So
you treat him
unfortunately,
as flat.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
it won't affect anyone else. That's what feint does. Yeah,
Well,
less important.
he's going to. Well, I guess he's going to probably try to shoot at you. Then.
I did technically imaginarily shoot at him.
Let's see. However, let's see. However, a 10's probably going to
It's a
miss.
miss.
So, and then it's down to Philip.
All right. So remember from last week that even though Ha is on the board, he is in my backpack.
Yes.
I'm going to move double my speed with Ha and try to jump in the ship.
Okay.
And I was.
Give
This is my best.
me an acrobatics or athletics check to see if you can make it in before the door closes.
Okay. You said acrobatics or what?
Or athletics.
I say to Ha, I'm like, Ha, I hope Bismara helps us right now. She does not.
That is not. You get there, and it's one of those where like you're not even close enough to even jump and fall and slam into the closing door. It's just you're like shit. Is
Okay.
the
I had to try,
all
but
right,
that is my turn.
all right,
Yeah, Ha's not doing anything unless he absolutely has to.
all right. So let's see.
I
This
will
guy,
not left my drone.
this guy is going to. Let's see. He was shooting. He's actually going to turn around and I think he'll shoot at you, Philip. That's what he's gonna do.
That makes sense. I literally tried to jump in his fucking buddy's ship.
See, I was thinking of doing that too, but then I was like, eh.
Well, you probably would have made it because you're the
Let's
luckiest
see.
person here. Yeah, we got this. Come on, guys. It's one less of them now.
Does 20 hit your KAC?
I want to say absolutely, but just let me check. Yes, absolutely.
All right. So damage. Where'd that go? Right here. Yep. That's what I thought. 3 points of damage.
Ow.
And this
That's so
guy.
bad. I failed a acrobatics check. Shame on Chris.
And this one is going to shoot at Death Arms. He's going to shoot. So sure. Does 16 hit Death Arms KAC?
No.
Nope, I didn't think so. All right. And the other one is still shooting at Kib.
Who should still have partial cover behind Death Arms. Not much.
And 10 was not enough, but he's going to reposition himself. Oops, wait. He's going to. He realizes that he's making his own job harder than by shooting from such a distance. But it's
higher.
Your turn, Kib.
This is where you yell at them and make them scared because their boss ran away from us.
True.
Demoralized. That's the word. All right, Kib, what you doing, buddy?
First, I'm gonna be like,
Give you a raise if
oh,
you can kill one of them this turn.
look at y'all. What's that behind you? And I'm gonna cast illusionary thing image.
What's the DC to beat it?
I also need a bluff check to see if he actually believes you enough to turn around.
You can do it. Pretend that you're Pyre. Roll that shady dice. Well, there have been worse bluff checks. Mine.
But like a 50-foot cubic feet square cube giant time dragon appears behind them. And it goes, rawr. Whatever my idea of a dragon roaring is.
Does it actually have the
It can do
Second
four-
level, it has sound.
Okay. All right. Well, he doesn't believe you until it says until the all
Yeah.
happens. What's the save DC on it?
Hold on, I gotta scroll back down. Second level is 16.
All right.
Come on. Roll ones.
He
Yeah.
says, "Oh shit! There's a dragon!" and he runs the fuck off. He runs and cowers in the fucking corner. You beat him. He's done.
I told you we made a deal with the time dragon. That was part of the bluff originally.
All right. He's gone. Bye bye. That was 4. So
So it's time for me.
I'm gonna take another step behind Death Arms.
It's
but
probably
you
good.
do, but you do start hearing like you're now hearing lots of alarms as the ship begins to take off. And let's see. Pyre, it's your action.
It's Death Arms first.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Death Arms.
A tip number 2 at shooting this thing with the
All right.
You're shooting this one?
yes.
Does Mira be on your side? Yeah.
Woo!
Does Mira fucking like
9. All right. 9 points. All right. Yeah, you hit him and yeah, you hit him. He takes a shot. He's, oh. All right.
I could do one move. Instead, Death Arm's not moving on his thing. He's gonna do a move action
Okay.
to spend 1 resolve point and get an entropy point.
nice.
Okay. Awesome. Pyre. And we see Death Arms start to glow.
And demoralize them.
I mean, how does that work?
Technically, you're just trying to intimidate them.
Let me see how intimidate works. It is one of my skills. It's not my main
That's
skill. As a standard action, you can use it on a creature to become shaken for a number of rounds. Why would I do that?
Okay, then don't do that.
Gentlemen, is it getting a little cold in here? As it does start to get colder and colder. I think that should be... Yep, 15, 15. That's all I need. 21.
All right. And let's see.
Oh, the
Click
damage is not rolling correctly. I'll have to manually roll that.
Invented at work. an upward internal wave
Why is
dealing
it
2d8
six?
fire at creatures and objects in the area. So
Oh,
okay. All right. And
Should be 2d8 fire damage.
is there a save DC on that? Attack,
Save,
isn't it?
reflex.
Right.
Yeah, reflex. It'll be is it charisma? So
16?
15. No, it'll be 15 because it's 11 plus my charisma modifier, which is 4.
All right. So go ahead and roll your damage. That's an energy attack. It should hit their
yeah.
AC easily. All right. So the first one and second
Ah,
one.
Nice.
bastards.
So this guy only takes 5 points of damage, or
Oh, it does say saving throw reflex 11 plus con mod. Guess I could probably edit that.
so that's all right. And he takes the full damage, so that's all right. Yeah, yeah. So you do some damage. You you do a bunch of damage to them, like they're like but they're still up.
Can you can break up your movement, right?
No, not unless you have a special feat for it.
That is so lame. I remembered it was something weird, stupid.
Hmm. Usually, I think it's even a character ability, like a class ability. I think some classes have a class ability with that, but I don't remember where. Like, I think
Nurse had the ability to do
I
it.
know that, huh?
Nurse. She can move like half her movement and do something. Shot on the run, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Because she
Right.
took several feats to be a very mobile fighter. All right. Yeah, so there's that.
Is it finally my turn?
Yeah, it should be.
It's Booter one
Oh, Booter.
actually,
Booter 1.
and he's going to. He's
Shoot.
actually going to move up. He's actually going to move up, and he's going to use his like he he's
That's a
drawing his
mistake.
sword as he moves up. What is it?
Oh, look.
So,
An ancient fighter from a more pristine time. And he's going to try to kill a gambler. That's not going to work out. Use your Derringer.
14. What's your KAC? Is it 14 hit?
It's a miss. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he swings at you and he misses. And now it's Philip's turn.
So. Oh, he's a bitch. I can still do it. It's annoying. Alright. How was that? Try again. Oh, I know what's wrong. Give me a sec. Oh. Duh. I was using the Kasathan picture because my brain still thinks I'm a Kasathan when we play on Mondays. My character sheet is being slow. Page 208. $15. Sorry, guys. When he moved, it changed my whole tactics.
It's better than.
I don't know what
Six.
I don't know what that's like at all. for people's movement on the board or characters' movements on the board to change your tactics. I don't know what that's like at all.
You're great, sir. I'm just saying. Yeah. So I am going to breath weapon them. And it's a 15-foot cone, so it should only hit those two. It shouldn't hit
Well, that's a 2.
fire at all. Wait. So
Yep.
the fire hits about here, but doesn't actually get to them for whatever reason. It is the first time I've used it.
Maybe-
Cone, I don't think it's actually supposed to roll an attack. They just make the save.
Let me look it back up. I already
Like
closed it.
I've noticed like my spell, it rolled a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter, like melee attack, range attack, 1d3 damage. I think it's just weirdly set up.
Well,
Alright.
you have to change the actual macros for each spell individually. I did it for Fable 2,
Yeah,
but it was
and
a pain.
I looked at it and it's all the text macro. I'm like, I am not messing with that. I was like,
Hang on.
it doesn't
I
let
just
me
I would
remember-
see-
seriously mess something majorly up on the character sheet if I did that. That's why I
Right.
don't.
Yeah, I think it's just adds in attacks and stuff.
So
Oh, it's just the wormling. But it doesn't.
Yeah, breath weapon usually allows the target to attempt a reflex as saving throw for half damage.
last in action to expel breath weapon
Yeah, there'd be no attack roll.
damage type. 3d6, okay, and then the save DC on that.
Is 10 plus 1.5, or 10 plus half your level plus your con.
So for you is what? I mean, half your level is 2, so that's 12. What's your con bonus?
Plus 1, so 13.
So 13. So their save DC is 13. Alright.
Fuck.
Alright.
And if it hits, then we'll worry about damage. Until then.
Alright. Oh,
Come on,
I can
13.
do this.
Come on, 12s. Come on, 12s. Or below.
Oops, that's
Oh,
wrong.
the first one makes it.
That's actually supposed to be. It doesn't make it matter, but I'll change it.
Ah, that one made it and had a plus 3. Oh well. So half damage of the 3d6.
Oops, that's only 2 of them. I don't know why I rolled the third one. I think I was just having fun rolling.
I understand that.
So roll your damage.
Jim, waste the 20. Yes.
It's not like I didn't just roll one on a saving throw the last time I was rolling on the last set of saves.
Well, that's not bad damage, really. So
Alright,
half of
we'll
12,
take
the ones
6.
that made it.
So both take 6. All right.
Mhm.
So.
I cough really hard after I do that. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it was going to burn my throat that bad.
All right. All right, which one of these? This is. All right, so
Back at
this
the top of the
one.
round. Woo!
This one is going to turn and engage. He's gonna cut like he's like, nope, we're not having. But he's like, so he's gonna come and attack you with his sword. He pulls his sword.
By the power of Grayskull, I dodge.
You know, he missed. So not even so much you dodged. He just missed. He was just really bad at his job.
You're supposed to use the pokey end.
And this one is.
That's actually a cutlass. I don't know why you have that at all. No,
It's a long sword.
I know.
This one's going to I guess he'll shoot at Death Arms, so he's gonna move up, and that's does 18 hit Death Arms KAC?
Didn't before.
Oh, I don't
No.
remember. I have too many numbers in front of me. Okay, so Kib, it's your turn.
Crap, what was Kim gonna do? I'm worried about what Death Arms is gonna do. I have to concentrate on that thing for it to stay up.
I mean, is it really needed anymore? No one else is falling for it. You could
Well,
just
I could stop concentrating on it whenever I want, and then it's up for
Yeah.
2 more rounds after that.
Well, then stop concentrating on it, and it'll roar once a turn and not scare anyone at this point. But kill one of them. I don't care which one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna stop concentrating on that spell and go away 2 rounds, and then I'm gonna shoot this one with the sonic pistol, I guess.
The same one you've been shooting at?
He ran away because he was scared.
Oh, is that the one?
The one that's all stretched out. I'm gonna shoot it. Yeah, that one.
Okay. Good luck. Besmira be on your side. Besmira was on your side.
19 is that should be a hit. Yeah, it is. That's 4 points. So, all right,
Remind me when we get back to make her a better thing.
all right. Death Arms.
so I started blasting.
So Death Arms is gonna do something dumb because why not? He's gonna charge at him and then like do that entropic strike thingy on him.
Nice.
All
Good.
right, move him up and make the attack.
I'll punch it.
All in pins and needles here.
Yes. Meanwhile.
18.
Oh,
That's good enough to hit.
nice.
Does you spend any entropy points to increase that damage at all?
That's what I was trying to figure out is how do I do that? I have
You roll
2 of them.
2d4 extra damage because you have 2.
Well, I was gonna say you 1d4 per point of per entropy point you spend.
That is true. If you didn't want to spend them both.
Actually, you probably would spend both of them. So do an
Okay.
additional 2d8 or 2d4.
2d4.
So go ahead and roll the 2d4.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. So his fists crackle with entropic energy, and he slams the guy in the face, and he goes to the ground, and he drops like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, I told you I was the strongest. I don't know. I'm trying.
No, that was great. All right. My friend. It's finally your turn again.
Yep, gonna drop another resolve as we use a move action to feint on this poor sod. I don't even know why I'm doing a resolve. It's a success. I don't think that beats the requirement.
Well, if you're trying to do your
guess.
trick attack,
This is just the move action to make him flat-footed for what I'm about to do.
okay, so you're doing something other than the trick attack.
I
then.
point my gun at his head. Duck, and he does. And that's when I will attempt to kick the sword out of his hand.
You're doing a disarm combat maneuver?
I am doing a disarm combat maneuver.
Nice. I can do this.
Okay.
That is just a melee. It's going to be with a +4. It doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure 22 plus 4 it's gonna hit.
Okay, so you actually managed to kick the sword out of his hand, surprisingly.
And because
Um,
I have a free hand, I catch it in my hand.
do you have a feat that allows you or ability that allows you to do that?
Disarm itself says if you have a free hand, you can
Oh,
grab
okay.
the weapon.
All right. Yeah, so you kick the
It's
sword out of
probably
his
you need
hand
it
and
for
grab it.
protection.
Nice,
I'm just like,
nice.
what a fancy sword! Is this like is it archaic or is it actually?
No, it's just a longsword. It's just it still does damage versus armor as
Oh, okay,
normal.
so it's a modern style.
It's a
Okay.
modern
What an
longsword.
interesting sword, kind of archaic for a pirate, but that's
It's
why
like
we're here.
um yeah.
See, South.
You
What?
actually best move there. All right. Uh
In other words, run. No, I have to say my
right.
turn
No, that's not it.
because that's move action
Let's do
and
that.
standard action.
There we are. All right. So, all right. So we are at number 1, which is him. Well, he doesn't
There's
have a
3
sword
of
in his.
me,
He
all
doesn't
holding
have
a
a.
sword and a gun.
He doesn't have a sword in his hand anymore. So I guess he's going to try to punch you, which is going to open him up for an attack of opportunity. So
Stab him with his sword.
Yeah, what kind? I need actually.
go, yeah.
What kind of sword
See.
is it?
It's just a long sword.
Oh, okay, let me.
It's
Yeah,
damage.
just if you
It's
Because I'm probably
tactical.
not
It
proficient.
should be called a tactical longsword. It's considered a simple weapon. Everybody's
Oh,
proficient with simple weapons, so you can use it. Damage is 1d8.
1d8. Okay. I mean, let's see. I think. Do I get my operative for all weapons I'm proficient in?
Yeah.
No, you do not get
Huh?
you don't get your you don't get specialization for, well, you do for simple
Oh,
weapons, but you
yeah,
don't.
no.
So
Yeah.
it would be your level for the longsword.
Okay, so I'll
So
just swing my switchblade because it's the same thing.
well, your switchblade will do half level for on specialization damage, but
It's full level. I'm level 3. I have
no,
weapon specialization.
small arms and weapons with the operative proficiency with the operative tag only do half your level with specialization.
Oh, I'm just rolling it for the attack mainly.
Yeah.
The damage will be the sword. So
Okay. Well.
since I don't want to have to add the whole sword
Oh,
onto
I
here.
got you. I got you.
He's
So,
still flat-footed.
but
So
he's going to. Let's see if he can. Nope. He is He is a terrible pirate.
it won't be
Yeah.
8. It'll be you said a D8.
Yes.
Okay, so /R 1d8.
D8 plus whatever your strength bonus is.
Hero.
Well, if I'm proficient, would I add my specialization? You said that's the level.
Yeah, it would be level. Yeah, it would
Okay.
be your strength plus and your level.
I have no strength. I did less damage with a sword.
You know what though? It's enough.
It's enough.
Yeah.
He goes to punch. I'm like, what are you? It's just cut him across the chest.
Yeah. He's down, and that was him. So he's
So the
so
only one that's left
one.
is the one in front of me.
So now it's no. There's one in front of Philip. Oh no, Philip put the other one down. Yeah, that's the. This is the
No.
point where where the shuttle is off of is up and off. The bay doors are open, and it's starting to float out, and it's starting to fly out, and
I yell.
it spins as it's spinning as it turns, and you are actually looking at it, you see the turret you see the missile launcher in the turret position start turning around, and the ship start turning um, around towards like towards the hangar bay that you guys are standing in.
Technically, no, because I was looking for grenades and I couldn't even find them. Because I had just rolled for that before this started happening. So I don't notice. But yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Does anyone that did notice like say anything like really loud?
Say it.
Yeah.
Notice. notice which that the ship
Incoming missile launcher.
yeah, yeah, I think you guys I think it makes enough noise that you guys probably would have, like, all looked up and been like, "Oh, shit." Like,
I look at the guy in front of me and I'm like, hey, he's about to try and kill you too. We should run.
yeah. So he runs, and he fires, and, as he's lifting off, the, uh, boss what was his name? Boss whatever the fuck his name was, because the paper
Boss
apparently
Isekai douchebag.
No, it wasn't the Isekai, because the Isekai's still upstairs.
Oh,
It's
the
the
Kasatha.
Kasathan. Was it Boss? Oh, Boss Jor. Boss Jor fires a missile down into the hangar bay. I'm going to need a reflex save from everybody, including his own guy.
All right. Hmm.
I already know. Is a 21 a success?
All right. We'll let you guys know what happened based on. Oh shit.
All right. It has like a big percentage chance of missing us because it's not firing at something in space, but it's still doing enough damage to the ship around, or the moon around us.
Like
So
it's an
that might be bad.
explosion. Yeah.
So Philip got a 19. Okay. So
And remember, even though he's out, he's technically in my backpack.
so everybody, or do we've got Desarms, Kibbs, Philip, Pyre? I need your reflex save as well. Oh, you already had it. All right. Okay, so those of you who rolled a 15 or above will take half this damage,
0.
but this is less because he didn't hit you guys, any of you directly, but he did enough structural damage that there's a lot of like debris flying everywhere. Plus, there's a lot of sort of like shrapnel from the explosive blast. This is the damage from all of that, and let's see. And those of you who rolled under 15 take full damage.
So half 12 seats.
I take
Yeah.
none because evasion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I pull
So-
the guy that was just killed in front of me. Like, are you fucking kidding? And pull his body up to block the debris.
Well, the thing is, he wasn't dead before, but he is now. Fucking the other guy, goes down too. You don't know if he's alive or dead. Like there's some support structure that collapses on him. But if he's not dead now, he'll probably will be soon because this room is now losing pressure because there's structural damage to the hangar bay. So it's now you guys are gonna have to. You guys like you're gonna have to activate your life support systems, like your environmental support systems. The lift that brought you down here still seems to be active. Still seems
It
to
will
be,
be when I get done. Even more.
you know, but it's, but yeah, your Kib, it's probably going to take a little work from you, but it's nothing but a routine. Like, you can either make a, you can either take a little time and take 10, and everybody make a couple more saving throws, and possibly be under the effects of 0G, or you can make a quick and dirty roll to get it moving fast enough to get you guys off this floor.
Tim's gonna yell up and be like, "Hey, let's get on the elevator. I'll just make this quick and easy so we can get the fuck out of here." Yeah, cool. I got it. Starts working on it.
No.
Yeah, so give me that engineering check.
Oops.
All right. All right. So, Kib, you're like after fumbling and messing with it for a couple of seconds, you get you realize what needs to happen. You're like, and you manage to dislodge some debris that was going to hinder the performance of the lift, and you managed to reinforce the cable uh, relatively quickly. Like maybe you have like a micro torch that you were able to like weld a few pieces of metal scrap to the cable to reinforce it or whatever, and you're able to get it up and going. The scene in the base is chaos. There are people running everywhere. Nobody really stops to try to fight you necessarily. There are a couple that are like, "Hey," and but like usually there's like somebody else like, "Hey, we gotta do this." That. They're all trying to get the fuck out of here. Um, you guys are probably you
Your
guys have.
boss, while we're running along, I'd be like, your boss abandoned you.
He's like,
Deal with it.
they're
Let's
yeah
go.
there's some grumbling. Oh, I'm quitting this organization. This sucks, and yeah. So they
Do
yeah
we have time to see if we can get some recruits out?
no, you do not.
I know. I know. Hey, would you like to just become a cog in the system? Jump on board with this real quick.
But you know who does and has had time to try to come up with some
Of course, there's like a
to make a role in the department of trying to gain new people.
Well, yeah. But
Oh, I thought it was gonna be a
Brian
role
does have the
gaining
ability to do
new,
that. But right
treasure.
now, we need to make it to the ship
Yeah.
I'm
because
grabbing anything
we have
valuable I can on the way.
biometric locks.
Yeah. So as you guys are running, they're like there's not a lot that you guys are seeing that are easily much of the stuff that seems to be of any value. The people who were in the red booters themselves are looting from their own base.
Of
Like
course.
everybody's
Like I said,
everybody's grabbing whatever they can fucking find to try to leave out of here. Like you see a
Right.
couple of them fighting over an extra a couple of batteries for life support for their sealed systems on their armor
escape
and
pod.
shit.
Is
You
it
know,
within hand reach?
no.
Dang it.
Um, but
I'm just gonna cast a spell at it and be like, nope, that one's broke, and run
you
by.
guys, but you know what you guys actually might have a chance to do? You might have a chance to try to quick and dirty to see if you can get anything useful out of the system. Um, but it's gonna be you'll have 5 rounds to try to come up with something of use.
Is the
Uh,
base like crumbling, or is it just losing oxygen?
well, the structural damage from the missile because he fired the first one, but he didn't stop firing missiles after you
Yeah.
guys left out of the hangar bay. Um,
Ah,
he
dick. Okay.
he fired a couple more. And
But
but like the structure is probably going to come apart.
kid, this is my help row for the first round.
But it's definitely you guys are sweating and people are looking at you funny.
I give him a little boo look.
All right. You're
Man, this whole system is trash. Pyre, you give it a try.
you're able to you're able to get in, but you see several walls of like spheres of of several nodes. You're not going to have time to get into all of them, but the bonus is you don't have to worry about most of you don't have to worry about the alarm being set off for you hacking
Right.
it. You just have to worry about garbage protocols and stuff
Is
that'll
there
erase data.
is this on a computer thing? I can just pull out the hard drive and take it with me, and then later I can deal with it.
No, it's not.
Can can I use my profession gambler to just pick one at random? And have it be a good one. Like, just grab that file or that node right there. Just do that.
I don't think that's going to be so helpful in this situation.
But sometimes luck is the best thing.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Kib, would you like to pick a node? You got 5 nodes to choose from. Give me a number.
Say, Power, you help this time.
Computers.
The second one.
Yeah, computers.
Number 2? Okay.
All right, there's your help roll.
All right.
Welcome,
All right.
Raiders. I see all these
All
Raiders
right.
joining us. I love it. We
So
have 9 Raiders from Apokamora.
you have oh, nice. Hey. Hola, Raiders. Thank you for
Hey,
joining
Raider.
us. You what you do find on the computer terminal is you manage to pull up a partial list of little base operations the Red Booters have that possibly might have some stuff in them. There's a there's a there's a chance there might be inventory lists attached to this if you like. There seem to be links that attach inventory lists to a couple of to them. There's about there's about 5 safe houses. Would you like to follow the links on any? You've used 2 rounds so far.
Can we just download it?
No.
I was like, can I transfer some of this over to my little thing?
Well, this is what you're doing. This is exactly
Downloading
this is
data.
exactly what this is.
Okay.
Downloading finding out what the data is, and you'll have enough time to download the data that you find, but you're not going to have time to get everything.
Essentially, keep in mind this is 5 rounds, we're just doing all this in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
we are
Yeah.
like
Yeah, you guys are like beads of sweat in front of keyboards here.
I'm in.
You know.
I'm gonna try location 3 and maybe 5.
Okay, so give me the computer rolls for those.
Fire, you've been doing better. You keep going. So
Relying
a
on luck
computer's
is
roll and then a computer's
gambler's
roll.
thing.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So Kib, you managed to get the inventory on. Was it you went for 3 and what?
5.
And 5.
So you got the inventory data on 3.
One more for both of y'all.
I see you are gambling on the odds. I love it.
Oh, well, God, you needed that.
You managed to get at least a partial list off of 5. So you have
Paz head pokes out of my backpack and he says, "It's time."
yeah. This is the point where you're like, yeah, you know you're not going to be able to stick around. Like this is where like you're hearing like the support structures like cracking and breaking. So
Fine. I guess that's enough for now. This is somewhere to go, and then we can get a better look somewhere else at one of the other safe houses. I know one for sure. Let's go.
Yeah, jump
All
on
right.
Death Arm's back and let's get out of here.
All right. Yeah. So you manage to. So we get like this scene of you guys like your beads of sweat as you're downloading as much data as you can, and you get the data, and we get like as you guys are dramatically running through the bases, like we hear like explosions in the background. We see people running around. We see, you know, a couple of people fighting in the background. You manage to make it to the door to the surface, and go running past where the electrical grid trap was that hurt a couple of you pretty good, and we see you guys moving as fast as you can, booking it to the shuttle and getting to the shuttle and like getting on. We also see like the other shuttle, the Red Booters shuttle, flying away. like taking off. And as we see you guys kind of getting into the shuttle and getting ready and getting yourselves together to fly off and what have you. And I want to cut back over
Yeah.
to Dr. Kurad here for a minute.
Correct.
You there, Doc?
I don't.
Brian.
Yes.
Aha. So Brian, they've been gone for a little. You've had time to try to do a membership drive, or at least delegate. Delegate. That's the word I was looking for. Delegate to have the organization do, as it were.
The organization has a +9 to their roll, and I don't remember what your plus is to this roll.
Which roll is it?
It is. Let's see, it's 10. I think it's 101 in the galactic galaxy operations.
Damn it. I have that book open.
So, membership drive is a diplomacy check with a DC of 10 plus 1.5 times your organization's, which would be 3. So 13. Your DC is 13. So
Okay, and you said there's a +9 bonus to this?
either you can use the organization, delegate somebody in the organization to do it, and it's got a +9 bonus, or you can do it yourself and get your own diplomacy bonus for it.
Oh, I'm going to delegate.
Okay. So
+9's better than what I got in diplomacy.
So go ahead and make that roll.
So D20 +9. Okay.
Oh,
You weren't able the feelers that they put out weren't able to get anybody interested this week. So they're
all right, this time.
this week there just wasn't enough people coming through, or people had enough stuff going on, or they just didn't feel like this sounded like their deal, I guess. But you're I think maybe you get like probably the last thing that you get is a give me a what kind of check this would be. Give me a perception check, Dr. Kurad. Okay. And give me okay, yeah. And there is so you've noticed that for a few days at least, there were like right before and right after the rest of them left to go meet with the time dragon. There were some people around the station that seemed to have a bit of an interest in Kib and Death Arms. One of which was a Valaka with pure white fur, who seemed to be asking questions and what have you. And the other one was a Lashunta, and Lashunta didn't seem to ask a bunch of didn't seem to be doing a lot of question asking, but instead seemed to be following some sort of intuition of some sort, because they literally went like spent a great deal of time in places that both Kib and Death Arms hang out or spend time in. Like, so the various odd places that Kib to work out of, or that Death Arms works guards him at, or the places they hang out. Like, this Lashunta spent bunch of time, like including outside of their quarters, and seem to have a bit of an interest in it. They're gone now, but but they were kind of hanging around and had a bit of an interest in things. Um, so yeah, so you've got a bit of information here, um, and I think probably you do get a Quinlan Maloon probably corners you at some point, the representative from the Valquin Empire. Um, like he manages to catch you either in your doctor's office or in ops somewhere. Where would he most likely catch you at?
Probably my doctor's office.
Yeah. So
It's
he,
like a physical.
he probably shows up. He's like, "Excuse me, Doctor Kurad. Uh, this is. I understand you're the only council member on the station at the moment."
Yeah, that is correct.
I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. Rather hopeful on the consideration here. I've a rumor is going around, and this is probably a few days after you heard the rumor yourself. It's like there's a rumor going around. My sources back in the Valquin Empire and locally tell me that there's a bit of tension between my homeland and the Garin Empire, and that they have some interest in finding this place as well. I was wondering if I was hoping that you would entertain the possibility of, if they do send a representative, just simply not allowing them on board. After all, if there's going to be a war between my people and theirs, I really don't feel like it would be the best option for the to have us so close together. It would draw you unnecessary. It could. Well, I'd rather there not be a direct battle here between our forces and theirs. Or at the very least, I find the Garin unpleasant, and I'm certain that we're not interested in opening any kind of negotiations with them. I was hoping to feel out the waters, hoping you might feel the same way.
Well,
Brian, the
okay.
Garen never actually showed up to meet us.
I know they didn't.
Okay, I just wanted to remind you.
I would be inclined not to invite issues to this station. And since they did not come to the gathering we had, I see no reason why there should be a representative here.
Ah, I was, and I crave yet just a slight. That is an ask on behalf of the Velquin Empire. I have a ask of a more, well, let's say my interest ties to the Velquin Empire, but it is of some interest to me. Could you arrange a meeting with this Sestra woman? I understand her organization, the Accord, are mercenaries and rather good ones at that. I don't know her personally. She's a rather a newer arrival. I had hoped that as the ruling council, you could arrange something.
I can look into it. No guarantees.
Charge
And
him 5%.
I will definitely look into it for you. And
This
then,
is.
if there's a possibility of a meeting, we can discuss fees then.
I would be happy to see my credits to your hand in order to facilitate an advantageous arrangement. And he nods. He says, uh, eh, and he says, and perhaps I can help smooth relations with Count Lesib himself. I guess that's really kind of in my job description anyway, but maybe perhaps him to make fewer visits to check on his investments. A request they send Hesha instead. A little uptight, but I prefer her company to the Count and the Countesses. Though don't let them know I said that.
Don't worry. I won't say anything if you won't.
He's like, and he nods. He says, I appreciate it. I imagine I've taken up enough of your time. He says, should you need me or anything, for anything, you've got my number and my comms. He says, uh, uh,
No, go ahead.
yeah, I think that's all like he really had to say. Is like he'll like sort of make his like sort of is making his exit. If you have anything further to add.
No, I just bid him a good day.
All right. Yeah. So he's yeah he makes his exit and his exit, and I think like we probably there's a message and there's a message that's been another message that's been sent to ops. Like you get paged for it.
Now what?
I just wanted you to know, Colovian. I just wanted you to know that it appears that we've drawn, or at least some of the council has drawn some powerful enough enemies. We received a message for that Death Arms character from one Osgavat. We parsed through it. It's a warning that it's a warning that that they're coming. That Captain Dravovok is aware that Death Arms made it out alive, and that he's going to see Death Arms put to the ground, and he intends to take Kib. There's a similar message for yourself and Philip, but the messages to yourselves contains more of a proposition that you simply stand back and let him have Kib and Death Arms. There's still a very real and direct threat, but it's a little bit more circumspect. It at least offers some option to not fight.
Do they require a response?
He didn't put any time limit necessarily on it, but I think it's safe to say that he has one in mind.
Just let him listen to silence. I've
Fair,
grown a little fond of that. Isaka.
like, oh, it came in through a courier ship. It's like it came in through a courier ship, so we'll we have no so we won't send a response until yourself and the rest of the council are prepared to do so. But I figured I would make you aware of it.
Well, thank you. Keep doing a good job.
Yes, sir. And and she's kind of out, and she signs off. And speaking of sign offs, I think we are at that and about that time.
I just want to say, like, as we're flying away, Pyre just starts laughing uncontrollably. And he's just like, that poor guy is going to get all the way out there, find out everything was okay, and kind of realize he just destroyed everything he collected.
And that
uh,
time I start laughing.
so how do you get, so who wants to go first? And send me your Player's Choice Awards, by the way.
Man, talk about burning bridges. He did a lot more than that.
Anybody?
I, I'm trying.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, for sign-offs, yeah. Give me.
Yes.
Yo, sorry. I thought you meant anyone that isn't like you send your player's choice. Like, Jesus, I'm still typing. It's your boy Sassy McNasty 69. This is my second to last session that I know of. Technically, training could extend another week if I need it, but oh God, I don't need it. I'm good to go. You can catch me here on Wednesdays when I return after training to Over the Horizon as Gideon Sunborn, the strength-based ranger with a glaive and a heart of gold. And on Fridays as Sin, or aka Hunter, or Hunter aka Sin, and Set, his level AI companion that was built to take down the world banking system, and also his new AI companion, Jove, but that'll be there for Friday. You can also catch me on Saturdays in Lands of Viboria as Duramak, the orc witch alchemist, uh, who we're gonna go meet a dragon. It's gonna be scary. Someone probably gonna die after being like just like flippantly just get out of my way, flick. No, I don't know. I don't like dragons, but we'll see how that goes. And that's me.
Awesome. Next.
Hi, I'm David the Gnome. Tonight you saw me play Philip Defoe. And we got out of there alive. I was really not expecting that. I was expecting Pyre to live and maybe Kib, but everybody else I thought we'd all go die. This is the only thing I play in, so I have a short outro. And there you go. Psychopathic. Why don't you do Death Arms and yours?
Okay, so I'm Scott. I played Kib and kind of played Death Arms today. Okay. Normally that's played by Soul Demon, but he don't feel well, so that's cool. He'll get better. Anyway, I played Kib and I'm awesome. I scared people. I don't know. That was kind of fun. I'm also in Lands of Ibaria, and my brain forgot what day that is. I just kind of show up and do what I need to
Saturdays.
do. Saturday, yeah. I was in that. I don't know what happened. I was swallowed by a dragon and carried off. What happened to him? I don't know. Tune in next Saturday to find out what happened to him. Also, I'd like to say maybe we can bring season 2 of Doctor Who back, because I made that up and it would be kind of cool to do and figure out what happened to the rest of the group after they confronted the Gallifrey Council and deceived them. And then they ran away, and then see what happens after that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, that's me.
Awesome.
I guess that brings it to me.
Yep.
I'm Brian C. I play Cura today. He did a lot of administrative work and got a bunch of good rumors going. So yeah, this could be interesting. There might be a war in the near future. Try to keep the station neutral, but I think we'll know which side we'll pick if we have to. But we'll see when we cross that bridge. You can find me on Saturdays running the lands of Ibaria. Yes, they had an encounter with a dragon and its pet drake. And one of the drakes did take off the poor halfling. But what happened to him? Is he alive? Is he dead? Did it become fertilizer and food? Or is he somewhere lost in the woods? We don't know. Tune in Saturday to find out. And that's it for me.
Awesome. And that brings it back to me, I believe. So let's see. Oops. I'm so all over the place here. There we go. All right. First of all, let's take care of the bookkeeping. Everybody gets 300 XP each, and Kurad, you get an extra 50 for Player's Choice tonight. You got voted. All right, you got voted in. With that said, I am the Just King Zerat. You can catch me here on Monday nights for Freewheel Station, and I kind of I've kind of been bouncing around with this thing a little bit and having a little bit of fun with it. I'm still thinking about trying to do something on Sundays, and I know I do. I need to just get something organized. But in any case, I think that's all we've got for tonight. So let's bring out the dragon and get out of here. Bring out the dragon!